Matt Pinchevsky is a hockey coach.
I fancy myself a teacher in a frozen classroom.
In that classroom, he enjoys teaching lessons about unity and the importance of working together as a cohesive hockey team.
We had kind of a mantra, and it's all my teams. It's been with me since I started coaching, and it's until the end, and then the players respond, we defend.
Which is basically saying, like, we'll defend our net, we'll defend our home rink, we'll defend each other.
Tony Achille once played for Matt's Maine Nordiques junior hockey squad.
I think that's something that's stuck with me. Just defending those that you love, defending what you love. If you love it, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking.
That mantra really reflects the Arizona State forward's life.
There is no giving up, whether that be playing hockey or whether you be going through chemotherapy, right? There's no giving up until it's all over, until you have nothing left to give, or until you be there. You fight until the very end.
Welcome to BYU Radio's Big Stories, telling the amazing and inspiring tales from the Big 12 and beyond. I'm your host, Cleon Wall. Our episode, Tony Achille, Until the End, We Will Defend. Tony is obsessed with ice hockey.
Hockey is literally my life. I've grown up around it since I was 3.
But it's not like he instantly took to the sport.
We got him out on the ice. There was a lot of crying.
Kelly Achille is Tony's mom.
He would go out for a moment and then just fall to tears, and we'd carry him off, and he would cry and throw his gloves on the ground and rip the helmet off. And we'd go home, but then the next time it would come around, he'd want to go again, and it was a rinse and repeat. But then all of a sudden something clicked, and he just loved it.
Honestly, when I'm on the ice, it takes me away from all other distractions that I have maybe going on in my life. To get out there, I just get to think about hockey. That's all I'm thinking about.
Tony Achille was a mite. I think he was 7 the first time I met him.
Tim Lovell was Tony's youth hockey coach.
He just stayed over throughout the years. He loves to fool around, loves to laugh, has a ton of friends.
I've always been like an energetic, happy kid.
But when he steps on the ice, he flicks the switch, and he'll do exactly what you want him to do. His role is tough, aggressive, get on the puck, do the little things that win hockey games, and he does an amazing job at it.
He was a lot better than me, I can tell you that much.
Ryan is Tony's big brother.
He was always naturally gifted. Plus he worked very hard, so it also enhanced it for him.
I just like the competitive nature of it. I get to battle with my teammates every day, or my friends, right? When we're on the ice, we're not really friends, but once we're off the ice, the best part about hockey is that you're back to being best friends.
Tony spent a lot of time with his teammates, like the one summer morning prior to his freshman year of high school. He told his mom that they were all going to rollerblade to the local rec center to play street hockey.
It was not unusual at all. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he's looking at me like, "What, are you crazy?" And I said, "Yeah, do you feel okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I feel fine. Why are you asking me this?" And I said, "Can I look at your neck?" And again, he's, 14, 15 years old. And he's like, "Okay, Mom, stop touching me." And I said, "Okay, well, you look like you have swollen glands." And he's like, "Oh, I feel fine. I'm gonna go. The guys are gonna be here and we're going to the rec center." I said, "Oh, okay, fine, whatever. Have fun. Be safe."
But Kelly kept pestering Tony about the lump on his neck.
It literally looked like someone had taken a golf ball and stuck it down his throat, and you could see it sticking out.
Went to a bunch of doctors. They all thought it was just like a swollen lymph node, and it would go down, and then a couple months went by, I would go to another doctor, same thing, and then eventually we went to a doctor, and you should probably just get that removed, get it tested.
Supposed to be a quick 45-minute surgery.
The procedure took over 4 hours, according to Tony's father, Bob.
You could tell when the doctor came out, something was
off.
Yeah, and she said, I'll give you a call.
So I get the phone call that says, "We just wanted to give you the results of Tony's biopsy. And the results are not exactly what we wanted, but he has cancer. He has Hodgkin's lymphoma. But don't worry, he'll be fine." I still, to this day, can't process those words and get that full conversation out of my head.
I came home and his friends were here and we're pacing around. We didn't want to say anything in front of his friends, so we had to wait for the parents to pick him up, and then we called the other 2 boys down.
Yeah, that was a tough one. He was just sitting on the coffee table playing Xbox, and I said, listen, like, can we shut that off for a minute, and can we have a conversation? We had to tell him exactly what had happened in the phone call and what we needed to do moving forward. And I just remember him sitting there and just pausing and no words. And he just stared and then said, am I gonna die? And what's the answer? No, you're not going to. No, not on my watch.
And then she goes, the doctor says it's curable. He goes, okay. And then just went back to play. I was like, what? What just happened here?
When I first got diagnosed, right, I didn't have like any emotion. I didn't want my family or anyone else to worry. So I didn't cry. I kind of just like kept a straight face.
So even though it was probably the worst news I've heard, he was like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep going.
Eventually, Bob informed Tony's coach, Tim Lovell, about the diagnosis.
I drove over to his house and we had a good conversation. I literally came over here, picked Tony up, and brought him to the hockey rink, and they went skating.
I'd say probably a week into all the testing and whatever, we were sitting in the waiting room at one of the hospitals in Boston, and I just completely just broke down. It all kind of hit me at once. I was seeing all the other kids that were also battling the same thing that I was about to go through, and I was scared that could happen to me and that maybe I don't make it out and I can't continue doing what I love, which is coming to the rink every day, playing hockey, seeing my friends. I also saw kids that were happy, right? They were happy that they could just be able to get the treatment that they were getting, being able to show up to the hospital, and they were, like I tell people, they're the happiest kids I've seen.
Tony kind of stops in the doorway and turns to us, and he was like, these kids are so sick. There's got to be something that we can do. And I'm like, oh, I don't think he realizes that he is one of those kids. And we walked out that building, and I just remember walking, 2 steps behind him and just so proud of this boy.
Tony was given 3 treatment options, but only one would allow him to continue playing hockey. He chose to receive chemotherapy once a week at the hospital.
He would go in Thursday. We'd keep him home from school on Friday, and then he'd skate on the weekends. He'd be itching to get to the rink to go at it, practice, and he did skills for a while. Tim held him out of games for a while, but he would still go every weekend and skate.
Tony came to practice every day. He didn't get a break. He was like every other kid on the ice. He got yelled at every day. He got positive feedback, negative feedback.
100%, I think it gave me purpose. I didn't want people to know that I was struggling because I wanted no one to look at me differently or treat me differently. I wanted to still be the same 15-year-old kid that's, going to school, playing with their friends, and then coming to the rink. The final day when they told me that I was all done, it was the happiest day of my life.
His last day of chemo, we didn't tell him, but his whole hockey team was here waiting for him, signs, cakes, balloons.
We woke him up, and I think he was a little confused, but then he got out, and they just all swarmed him, and they were hugging, and he was just, again, beaming.
I had a bunch of medicine going through me, so I was tired, and I didn't really appreciate the moment. Looking back on it, it was one of the most special moments of my life and something I'll never forget.
Do I think it was a miracle? I mean, I think there's miracles every day, and I think he was one of them. Tony's
next miracle was playing junior hockey for Matt Pinchevsky and the Maine Nordiques.
Getting to know him was actually really easy. We had some very good connective energy right off the bat, but he was just on a mission. He would not stop until he achieved his goal.
My first dream was to play college hockey, and when I had my speed bump, when I got sick, some people may have thought that it wasn't possible. Like this was it, this was my hockey career, but not me, not my friends, not my coaches. They all supported me.
My name's Greg Powers. I'm the head coach here at ASU for our men's ice hockey team. We watched him all year, and then really late in the game, it was around this time last year, we decided we needed a player like him that would bring energy and physicality and speed to our roster.
I picked up the phone and he was like, we really like the way you play. We like your hustle, your tenacity. We think you'd be a great fit here at Arizona State. And then he said give him like 12 hours. He'll call me back the next day with official news whether they wanted to commit me or not. And then the following day, we're on a bus ride, a 12-hour bus ride down to Maryland from Maine. And I get a call from the coach. And he basically just dropped the news that he would want me to come play for them at Arizona State. And it was an instant yes. I didn't have any doubt in my mind that I would want to go to school there. And then I called my parents, and they were ecstatic, obviously.
Yeah, you could almost sense that big Tony smile like through the phone, if you know what I mean. Like it was just, you could just tell he was just like, I did it. Like I did it. I made it. This is what I've been working for so long.
He's the epitome of somebody that just doesn't have bad days. You know, he always has a smile on his face. He's always here working hard. He's a great teammate. He's one of the most popular guys in our room. He wants to make sure that everything he gets is earned, and it became knowledge, you know, within our locker room what he battled, and he's a great example for all of our guys of how to get through adversity.
His hockey team and his coaches were the driving force for him to move through his treatments, to fight through his treatments, because he still had that goal, right? He wanted to play college hockey. So that team drove him and his spirits through the process. So he realized that he also was given a mission. So it became Mission 16. 16 was his hockey jersey number all through his youth.
Mission 16 is my fundraiser that I do, that I'll sell hats, sweatshirts, shirts, and I'll raise money, and I'll give all the money back to either the Dempsey Center or Dana-Farber, which is where I got my treatment from. What made me want to do it would be just seeing how happy the kids were, and I want to give back to what I went through, because I want to help the kids as much as they helped me, because honestly, them being happy made me happy. On my hockey stick, on the knob, I put a piece of white tape under my grip tape, and on one side will be lightning stripes, because people like to think that I'm fast. And then on the other side, I'll put DF, which stands for Dana-Farber, which is the hospital that I went to. And then every time I go on the ice, I'll kiss that part, the DF, just as like a little reminder that I'm very thankful for what I went through, and that I'm thinking of the kids and all the doctors that helped me get to where I am.
When Tony was playing for Matt Pinchevsky in Maine, the coach's young son wondered how Tony could be a rough and tumble hockey player after he had been so sick.
And I just told him it's because he has superpowers. And I meant it. And he could understand that at that age. Tony's superpowers turned into something like almost like a mental trigger for the rest of the season, to the point of even calling him Superman at one point, just to, get that ear-to-ear smile that he can give you. They don't build him like him, and I don't know if he realizes sometimes that he's a symbol or a beacon for so many reasons to so many different people, but that's Tony.
Tony Achille, Until the End, We Will Defend, was produced and written by Whitney Sheffield and Cleon Wall. Music and post-production by Kevin West. Make sure you watch BYUtv's Big Stories by logging on to BYUSN.com. Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio. Hey everyone, Cleon Wall here again. I'm inviting you to check out another BYU Radio podcast. It's called Deep Blue. It's where you get the true stories of BYU athletes and coaches from their own mouths. It's hosted by my colleague, Jason Shepard. Last season, they had great interviews on Deep Blue, including Cougar quarterback Gary Bohannon. He teared up quite a bit talking about his son and what it means for his boy to watch his dad play. Also, BYU swimmer Jordan Tiffany, who quit swimming due to mental health struggles. He talked about how he was able to get back in the pool again. More great conversations for season number 3. BYU running back Hinckley Rapati will talk about his tear-filled journey to BYU. Former BYU tight end Chad Lewis, he's going to reflect back on that special 1996 BYU football season. And BYU basketball players Richie Saunders and Fousseyni Traore discuss their unique relationship. It started way before they got to BYU. Please subscribe and listen to Deep Blue with Jason Shepard wherever you get podcasts, or check it out on the BYU Radio app.